I heard it when I was on the air this past weekend. That say, the new home of Big D and Bubba. They've been on that station for almost 3 years.
And it still says in the new home?
The new home.
The all new.
You know, what do you mean the new home?
Yeah, it's their home now.
Yeah, been there like almost 3 years. And it's still the new home.
After about 6 months, I think you could drop the new home.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it'll be the old home.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to a podcast about music and entertainment before it all goes down the disposal. This is Circling the Drain.
Hey, welcome back to Circling the Drain. Of course, you got Johnny Bozeman, Johnny B here. Over there, Jay Harper.
That's right, Jeffrey Harper, Jay Harper. Yes. I mean, you're doing the double name thing.
Well, sure.
Yeah, a lot of folks don't know that I'm Jeff. I mean, I got a whole family.
Hi, Jeff.
I got a whole family that doesn't know Jay.
I'm Ernie.
Yeah, hi, Ernie. And then we have Pat.
Yeah. Pat.
Pat?
I'm kind of, you don't know if I'm a male or a female. Like Saturday Night Live.
It's Pat.
It's Pat.
James Patrick McCarthy.
Yes.
Man, try that in a small town and Jim will whip your tail.
I like
got
that hat, by the way.
Cool hat.
Yeah, that was cool.
One of the podcasts I produce.
Well,
we need our own hats.
We've been talking about Circling the Drain. This is what, episode number 51?
Yes.
Correct.
So what we're starting to tweak.
Yes. Tweak.
We're starting to tweak.
Not twerk.
No, we're not
twerking.
No, because you don't want to. You don't want to see us do that.
I don't know. You won't. Maybe I. No, never mind.
It'll be subscriber content.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. That'll cost you extra.
Yes. Yeah, to go along with that OnlyFans thing that we're still planning.
But we've had some negative reaction from some artists.
Yeah, misunderstanding of exactly what the
Circling the Drain means.
Yes,
right.
and about the actual subject matter that we attempt to get into here.
Well, you got to remember too, people that are in the arts, the last thing they want to do is circle the drain because that means it's almost over. That's not what we meant. But when you have to explain it, it's like jokes. If you have to explain it, it's not going to go over.
Right.
So we're going to probably rebrand our podcast to another name.
We're mulling that.
We're mulling that.
Yeah, as we approach people and invite them to be on the podcast, and there are those that, understandably so, may get the first impression that, okay, are they asking me to be a guest, thinking that I'm over the hill?
I'm circling the drain.
Yes, that I'm circling the drain.
Perfectly healthy, damn it.
Why
I still
are you
have a
asking
career.
Me? Yes, why are you asking me, you SOB? That anyway. So we're thinking of seriously of rebranding things.
And since we're talking about this, may I also say, because it was brought to my attention that some artists may not want to come on because I used to be on a political talk show. And they're afraid that if they come on, that they're going to get a right-wing.
Yeah, they're going to get.
That's not going to happen.
They're going to get ambushed about something political, and that's not what we're about at all.
Not at all. In fact, contrary to popular belief, I'm actually more middle of the road than I am either far right, far left. It doesn't matter. I don't care what you are, what you believe. We just want to have you on because if we dig your talent, then you're going to be on. That's all it is. And we're going to treat you with respect. And that's what it's all about. We're going to have fun. Right?
Yeah, fun.
Damn it. We want to have fun.
Yeah,
yes, Johnny, we'll have fun.
We're having fun.
Are we having fun yet?
Yeah, that's what this is. It's so damn fun.
Kind of like that race we went to, the IndyCar. Boy, we got to tell you about Jim. You missed, man.
Yeah, you missed a 3-day marathon, my
Boy,
man.
well, 3-day for Jay. I could only make 2 of them.
Yeah.
The first day was so ungodly hot.
Yeah, it was warm.
Oh, warm. Oh, my God. And then last year when we went, they had all kinds of tents set up. And you could go in, cool off. And they had great food. We had like hamburgers that first year and pasta, and it was wonderful. Well, this year, Jay and I, hey, let's go back there, and we're sweating to, beat the band. We get back there, there's no tents.
Well, they were there, but they had changed the methodology as to how they set those things up. I had a good friend, a young lady that used to work for me, and her brother was in the race, and their company set up these hospitality tents. And we were invited to come, hey, come on by and have, cool off, get a drink, what have you. So we're thinking, hey, we'll be able to, well, they had the tents, but they were in a secure area now where you had to have an additional ticket. To get into that area now. That's what changed.
And if we had bought a ticket, how much would it have been?
For 3 days, $2,500.
Is it run by iHeart now?
I believe so. Yeah.
And got to make their money somewhere. I mean,
that's true.
Right. They're laying people off left and right.
Yeah,
so we didn't get a chance to enjoy that part of things, and paying $4.50 for a bottle of water, and this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and plus, when it came to the bottle of water, the first one we went to, Jay gets cold as hell bottle of water. Mine,
lukewarm.
Not even that.
It was hot.
Yeah,
really? It was hot. It was like you're drinking bath water.
Yeah, she pulled it out of the pack, and we didn't notice till he had opened the darn thing.
Yeah,
and you paid for it.
Yeah. I paid for it, and all of a sudden I hit it. I'm going, God, this is.
And I felt so bad. I'm like, oh man, but hey, we went to another, and I bought Johnny a darn bottle of water,
and it was nice and cold.
But yes, the Saturday, it's a 3-day event. It was Saturday, Sunday. And
Saturday wasn't bad.
It ended up being Monday too, because on Sunday, when the actual IndyCar race was to happen, it was also the day of the World Cup final,
and they were on the same channel.
Fox had the World Cup final.
So they were covering it.
They were hoping to use the World Cup final as a lead-in to the IndyCar race on Fox.
Oh, okay.
Well, the World Cup race went into overtime. Mm-hmm. So it was supposed to end roughly around 4:30 Central, but it went on and on and on and on. So consequently, they delayed the start of the IndyCar race. Well, that delay, coupled with weather that came in subsequently.
Yeah, storm, because they had they were getting ready to start the race.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, it came over the loudspeakers. There's been severe weather sighted near the racetrack. Please make your...
Yes, please leave the grandstand. Severe weather is imminent.
Yes.
Well, we sat there for 3 frickin' hours with no severe weather.
Yeah, all it did, it was around us.
Yeah.
It was around us.
It was around us. There was no lightning. There was,
there was often, because you could hear thunder and all that.
Well, not, Johnny, but that didn't happen till way, way after we had sat there, stood there forever.
Well, no, when we were standing there was thunder in the area, but it wasn't near the track.
It wasn't near the track, but, so they could have gotten the race in that Sunday, but because they farted around forever because of the World Cup being delayed, et cetera, et cetera. So,
and it did. I have to say, it did rain.
Oh
finally.
Boy, did it! Yeah.
Well, it started raining, and then they had to. So then it quit. So now they're drying the track off. Plus, I got to add this. Every now and then, Jay and I would go to see what it looked like outside. Every time you stuck your head out, there was this woman that worked at the track. Boy, she must have just loved having her job, because she was really into it. Because the minute you stuck your head out, get back in there! Get back in there now!
Yeah, it wasn't. Hey, sir, could you please?
No, she's screaming at you.
Oh, yeah.
She's screaming at you like you're, and it was like, oh, Lord.
Yeah.
I even told Jay, I said, she stayed up all night. She was so excited to have this job. But finally, the rain stopped. So now they're drying off the track. It's going to take us about 90 minutes to dry off the track. It's like about 6 in the evening.
Right. Ouch, it was a little more around 7 or so by then. But, and the track was almost dry, man. It was amazing. I never watched those dryers do that before. Yeah, it was kind of cool. And boy, they do the job. I must admit. Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, I'm looking.
Yeah.
It was me and a black lady. Mm-hmm. We were kind of looking, because all of a sudden I look over to my right, and here comes these clouds, they're almost touching the ground.
Yeah. Looked like something out of the movie Twister.
So
Oh,
I tell Jay, I said, Jay, take a look. And he goes, I've seen clouds like that before. Nothing happens. I thought, nah, I don't think that's the case.
Well, I was looking at the, my
Your
weather
weather
app,
app,
the
yeah.
cloud app, and it showed clouds, but it didn't show that there was rain coming out of them. I'm like, well, you look at this, there ain't no rain in them or whatever, but
then all of a sudden I'm starting to feel,
yeah.
and they were huge drops.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden comes over the loudspeaker again, there's been severe weather. And boy, did it ever.
Yeah, back
man.
under the grandstand we went, and
You couldn't stand under there because it was
dripping through the slats or whatever that is in the grandstand. So we hid out in the men's room. How long did we stand in there?
we must have been in there an hour.
At least.
Yeah, and
Yes.
it wasn't just, all the men were in the men's room. It was like,
in there hiding to keep from getting drenched,
get dry. And
So it sounds like you guys had a good time.
Oh, yeah. Well, Jim, I did.
did.
Johnny and I hung out and shot the breeze and talked about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And then they ultimately postponed it.
Yeah, we heard from another guy. He was looking at his phone and tweet. He said, they've postponed it till Monday.
No, there you go.
Yeah. So we got, thank goodness we didn't get there early. The place opened up at 11 in the morning, but we didn't get there till 3 or whatever, because the race was supposed to start at 4:30. So we got there about 3 o'clock. We goofed around, stood around, had our $4.50 water. And
we even ate
Puckett's.
Yeah, Puckett's.
Puckett's barbecue.
Yeah, we had some Puckett's barbecue.
Those sandwiches
wasn't
were
bad.
good. Overpriced.
Overpriced, but
of
not
course.
bad.
Yeah, par for the course at an event like
Sure.
that. But they ultimately postponed it till Monday. Johnny couldn't make it on Monday, sadly. But I went, and man, it was a perfect day. Started on time, took 2 hours to race.
I saw your picture with the winner, your guy.
Yeah, my man Alex Pillow won the race again.
Cool.
Yeah,
I've never been to a race.
Last year was my first IndyCar. Well, actually, my first race period. I don't know. I had been to the Nashville Fairgrounds attending other things while races were going on.
Me too.
And I kind of sat and watched a little bit. But it's really the first time last year, first time I ever went. And it's a great race. And it's a good facility. I've been getting all of these. I just got one yesterday, a survey, wanting to know my opinion on the race and how it went. And I gave it good marks overall. My biggest beef was the lack of communication as to what the hell was going on to the people in attendance. The track has an app, put the information on the stinking app.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody was looking at that app, wondering, is there any information?
Nothing.
Or posted to X, social media. There was nothing. And they had these little pissants. We're in the under the grandstand saying, and you're hearing announcements being made.
Yeah.
The announcements are going out over the PA to the grandstand.
Where nobody is.
Which they had cleared.
Yes.
But there were little pissant speakers that we discovered later.
Well, kind of look like a speaker about that size.
Yeah, that we discovered later that were under the grandstand.
Yeah.
But they're like this big, and you couldn't hear anything. So
No.
Might as well have been doing it on an all call on a phone system.
yeah,
exactly.
Hell, you could sit out there with a megaphone and done better, you know. But the information was severely lacking. And as it turns out, what they were piping over those little speakers into the grandstand, where nobody was the recorded thing that they had been playing the whole day.
Yeah.
The event is scheduled to begin on time. That bullshit. We're sitting here for 4 hours.
Their severe weather has been.
This ain't on time. Oh, gosh. So anyway, I did indicate that in my response. It's like, there's many ways to communicate with people now. Y'all didn't use any of them.
No, and they need to.
Any high-tech ways of either by social media, which everybody also was checking. So you're standing there like, okay, what's going to happen?
Well, Scott Borchetta has the money. He can, he can surely.
Yeah, I saw him. We saw him. I was pulling up the broadcast on my phone just to kind of see maybe we can find out what's going on. And Scott was on that. Talking about
nice and dry, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, the race is going to get started here in a couple of minutes.
Meanwhile, 2 hours later,
We're under the bleachers.
yeah,
So basically, they're as communicative as radio is.
pretty much.
Well, circling the drain, we wouldn't be able to do this podcast without people that would support us. And David Crabtree is one of these fine people, and he's got Crabtree Benefits. And David, I'd like you to tell folks a little bit about Crabtree Benefits.
Okay, thank you, Johnny, for having me today. And Crabtree Benefits is an employee benefit company. I help companies establish a benefit package for their employees. So if they're looking for medical, dental, vision, disability, they can provide them to their employees so their employees can protect themselves and their families.
One of the things that you do is help the business owner not have to get in the weeds.
Well, it can certainly be overwhelming.
Confusing.
And these are, literally life-altering decisions.
Yeah.
As a business owner, really the last thing you want to deal with are employee benefits. This is where I come in. I'm David Crabtree with Crabtree Benefits.
Hey, if your business needs better benefits, go to crabtreebenefits.com and be sure and tell them Johnny B said hey.
I am Vinny Tavares. I'm the owner of Milltown Bikes, right in the heart of Columbia, Tennessee, on the square. And we're here to serve the community. We have bicycles from kids to adults, e-bikes, mountain bikes, road bikes. We run a repair shop. So I am the third generation of this current bike shop. It's been here since the 70s. It's a historical building. It's an integral part of the downtown community in Columbia. We got customers here coming in and talking that they got their very first bike here. So the reception has been great. Everybody's been super friendly, super welcoming. A lot of the old customers that been coming here for generations now still come here. They're now my customers, and I have a huge responsibility to continue to carry that legacy and that passion forward.
We started out thinking about talking about radio and rebranding the podcast. Is it going to be the all new? Like, are we going to do that for a couple of years?
A couple of years.
Yeah.
I tell you what, and I know this may get me fired. I don't know, but I'm on WSM FM quite a bit,
are.
and they still run promos. I heard it when I was on the air this past weekend that say the new home of Big D and Bubba. They've been on that station for almost 3 years.
And it still says in the new home.
The new home.
The all new.
And what do you mean the new home?
Yeah, it's their home now.
Yeah, I've been there like almost 3 years. And it's still the new home.
After about 6 months, I think you could drop the new home.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it'll be the old home.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
do they have a target on their back, much like Woody and Jim?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, like us, maybe they're headed to the old folks' home.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Could be there, Johnny.
Right.
But we wanted to talk essentially about the state. Kind of do another episode about the current state of Nashville radio. You guys have heard about the layoffs from
iHeart, man.
iHeart.
It's probably they've had a number of those over the years.
Is there
but I think
anybody
this
left?
This has got to be the biggest one, though.
It was pretty impactful, and we talked off the air about the posts you see from people that were victims, and a lot of them start out how, Jay?
The day I have dreaded is finally here.
And it's like, my sympathy is starting to really decline.
To get you get Finn.
Guys,
I know.
The writing is on the freaking wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially to folks that are our age or a little younger. It did seem that the majority of the layoffs that the majority of people who got their ass fired by iHeart were people that had been with them 25, 30, some even 40 years.
Oh, yeah.
So they're older air talents for the most part. It did seem that they got rid of a lot of folks that were over the age of 50, maybe 45, 50. So if you were in that age bracket,
yeah, you may want to start.
And you've been there maybe a few years, and maybe you're making okay, decent money.
Yeah.
It might start getting uncomfortable.
Yes, maybe you should view your time with iHeart as circling the drain.
There you go. Well, I mean, that's what happened with me at Cumulus. Because I remember talking to Dan Mandis. I said, Dan, I'm reading here in the trades that, some Cumulus stations are letting, a lot of their long timers go.
Yeah.
Should I be worried? And Dan, oh no, man, the show's doing really well. I said, I don't think they're gonna screw with our show.
If it's doing well, that's typically an indication that they will screw with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is it doing well? Okay, let's fix it.
Yeah. Let's tweak.
Yeah.
But anyway, and I really saw it coming, but then Dan kind of, nothing against him, but he made me, well, maybe he's right. I'd have nothing to worry about. It was about a week later that I got the Zoom call. And
I still can't believe that.
Well, no, that's
I can.
That's how they're doing it. I mean, all these iHeart people, the majority of them, from what I've understood, they got a Zoom call.
Or an email.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm just seeing something here just now. I'm on. You mentioned Jay off the air again. These radio boards and pages on groups rather on Facebook. I'm on. You worked in radio when?
Yes.
Is the name of the group.
Yes, I'm on that group.
I am too.
16 hours ago, Cumulus Media just shut down Little Rock's oldest constant running AM.
Yes, I saw that.
KARN 920 AM.
Yeah, it
today.
was a sports station.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Those AM signals,
they're going on.
yeah, they're going away. Either they're just ditching everything and simulcasting their FM and keeping that AM signal around. But I am seeing a lot of owners they're forfeiting the license and saying,
Turning them dark.
yep, AM just ain't there.
Well, it's hard to get people to listen to AM anymore.
Well, I mean, gosh, there are so many exceptions to the rule. But, you're talking legendary calls. I mean, WWL, WSM,
Right.
KOA, these legacy stations.
Right.
That's different than KARN and Little Rock. I mean,
It's understandable.
So, yeah.
And you brought up KOA. I didn't know my parents are KOA in Shenandoah, Iowa. My parents are in the museum.
Yeah. Well, I know I remember you telling me that they, were a part of that station, like with the Everly Brothers and stuff.
Well, yeah, it would be actually before the Everly Brothers were just kids then. It was mostly Ike and his wife, Margaret. And, so they were an early part of that. It was the KOA. Was it KOA or KMA, I think. Maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah. But yeah, it was old radio back then. They used to sing on the radio.
Yeah. But, as you say, Jim, I for any radio employee, for the big guys, if you don't see that train coming down the track, I mean, it sucks to lose your gig. And I don't know, maybe there's, you're in denial. Like, man, I'm safe. I've been here this long.
Ratings
My
are good.
ratings are good. My public loves me.
Yeah, everybody loves me.
Yeah, everybody loves me. Yeah. When I go through the McDonald's drive-thru, they say, "Are you in radio?" I mean,
Well, he gets
they
that.
all love me.
He gets
we
that.
got that at the race.
You did.
Yeah.
You did. I did, because the guy couldn't believe I'd been on the radio. He said, well, he enunciates better.
Yeah. No, man, we're going through one of the lines to take the tram over to another part of the track, and the guy is like, I don't know if he was stamping our hand. Well, anyway, we're just like, "Hey, how are you?" Da-da-da. And the guy's like, "You sound like a broadcaster."
Yes, what are you on TV? This is what he said. Are you on TV or radio or something?
Do you remember? I mean, because you're like, we always talk about Jack Shell.
Yeah.
And how he was always on.
Always on.
Oh my
Always
God,
on.
Jack Shell, everybody.
Yes, everybody.
Yeah. But when did you start? Do you remember how old you were when you started? Like, it just, and I do the same thing in my own way. I project my voice.
Yeah.
And
I don't consciously try to, sound any particular way. I mean, I'm just.
Well, you remember how we sounded before that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have a rich voice, though.
Well,
Your
I
voice is-
can remember, answering the phone as a kid, and people thought it was my mother, and would just start talking. And then I'd say, wait a minute, this is her son.
Hey, Mom!
Yeah. Exactly.
Quite the contrary. I had a guy call the house one time, and He's like, hey, sir, I just want to talk to you about it. And he starts talking to me. I said, hold on, let me get my mother. He's like, okay, I didn't even realize that you were a kid.
Yeah. Well, that started with me at around 10 or 11 years old is when my voice started to change because I matured early.
Boy, you sure did.
I mean, I was shaving at 10 years old.
Were you really?
Yeah. Well, at least where I have this white stuff now.
Yeah.
I started shaving at 10.
Wow.
Man. Yeah. So my voice started to change early, but yeah. But anyway, you were going to ask something about when did I realize or something?
Oh, just, wondering how did we sound before we became radiophile?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I was a guy in high school that they always wanted to do the, morning announcements and all of that.
So you had it intrinsically. Did you hear it from other radio broadcasters and kind of emulate?
No,
No?
I didn't do any of that.
Really?
I mean, I had guys that I really liked. I mean, in New Orleans, where I grew up, back then, AM radio was still a thing. WTIX in New Orleans, the mighty 690, had some of the greatest jocks, I mean, just your old school entertaining, it was top 40 station. And, they played it on I took the bus to school and they played it on the bus and all.
Yeah.
Really, it was strange. I mean, we all listened to AM radio because of the music they were playing. At that time, this was the early, mid-'70s. The FM stations, it was all WBYU, Bayou Country, easy listening.
Oh, so it was all the easy listening stations.
Easy listening
really?
were on FM. Wow. But then that changed mid-'70s when WRNO came along, the Rock of New Orleans, and started just playing. It was AOR.
Well, yeah, when I was coming up in the 70s, the FM rock stations were all underground.
Yeah.
And they would play like Inagata Davida. I think that's the only reason Inagata Davida really became a big hit in rock and roll was all the underground rock stations because, man, this thing's 15 minutes long.
Yeah, man. This is real. This is anti-establishment.
I can go smoke a doob and play this really long song.
We can have a production meeting.
That's right, and take a dump. And
well, that's the first place I heard. First place I heard when the Beatles' White Album came out. I remember one of my sisters got really mad at me. She asked me to go request Revolution #1, which was the acoustic version, more acoustic than the rock and roll, one the Beatles put out as a single. And so I requested it, but the DJ must have really been high because he didn't play that when he played Revolution #9. If you ever heard Revolution #9, all it was this Yoko Ono inspired, all these different, I mean, it was just bizarre.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds familiar.
Yeah. So, yeah, I remember the FM, and my dad even turned the station into the FCC because he happened to be he typical radio guy. He's dialing into different stations, hearing what they're doing. Well, he comes across this song on the rock station, and he said, all it said was, I love Mary Marijuana. You love Mary Marijuana. We'll all love Mary. And so he said, damn it, we can't have that. That's drug induced.
Yeah.
And
instead of doing that, let's go ahead and steal ABC News from the Little Rock station. Right?
Which he did. You're going back to an earlier episode.
Earlier podcast.
Yeah, but my dad, to explain it.
Tell that story again, Johnny. That is hilarious.
He had this small station in Hot Springs. And I'm driving in because I've never been to the station. This is my first time to go there. And I'm listening. And Dad was, no offense to him, but he was cheap. He's like most radio station owners.
Most independent owners.
Yeah, they don't want to spend any money. So I'm going in, and all of a sudden I hear dun 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 dun, ABC News, and I'm going, wow, man, I can't believe Dad did this. And I'm driving in, and going, boy, it sounds good, So I get to the station, and I look in this production room, and it's all. I see the only thing in it is this radio and a microphone stuck to the speaker. And as I'm going in the production room, somebody stops me, one of the jocks, and he goes, hey, man, don't go in there. You can't make any noise. I said, why? He said, That's where we're getting ABC News. And I went, said, Dad, are you taking ABC News? He said, oh, yeah, it's a Little Rock station. Dad, it's highly illegal.
I kind of remember when I realized that AM radio was, at least in our town, was kind of dead. Mm. We had WINE, which was our AM in the building.
Like I as in Isidore, like wine?
Like wine.
Man, what great call letters.
Oh,
great call
it is great
letters.
call letters.
And we ran a NASCAR race every Sunday as part of the production director's duties was to change up the race or at least a promo or something like that. Nobody ever did it. I think we ran the same race for like 3 months. And then, I was in there one day. I'm like, does anybody listen to these things? And a guy that I was with, he cracks the mic on the AM and just belches loudly into the mic. And I'm going, dude.
Wow.
And not one phone call. I'm like, nobody's listening to
That
this.
tells you.
Yeah.
You're running Dale Earnhardt on your promos after he's dead.
Pretty
I mean,
much.
That that's the kind of stuff that can happen if you don't update your
I actually was on the air when he died.
Yeah.
We did the morning show.
Yeah, I was sitting at a Preds game when we heard that.
And the guy that I was with, his name was Omelet. He came up from Miami and wanted to be a morning guy. So he was always omelet.
Omelet.
Because when he would go out on remotes, he would always get drunk and he'd be like, I'm lit.
Oh, okay.
Wah, ha, 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 waka, waka.
Okay.
Boy,
Boy,
I thought maybe you were exaggerating, but no.
But he was a producer for a morning show in Miami and then wanted to be on a morning show himself. So he came and took the position that came open while we were there at our morning show. And the main host had to go on vacation, so I filled in for the main host as someone to bounce stuff off of. And it was the day that Dale Earnhardt died, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna make light of this."
Oh
No.
And he's like, we're gonna eat some mayonnaise sandwiches in honor of Dale. I mean, all the thing. And I'm going, dude,
No.
this is all you.
Yeah,
you could field these phone calls.
Yeah, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Speaking of phone calls, that's one reason I got fired from this station in Franklin, Tennessee. It was a small station. WIZO. Wizo.
Yeah, I remember them.
Wizo. Yeah, Wizzo is what. But the woman that ran it, God bless her, woman was nuts. I remember going into the station one day, and I see these glasses fly by my face as I'm walking in. It's her glasses. She had thrown them so much that she put a paper clip on them to keep them together because she had thrown them so much. And then one morning I came in and we were doing the morning show, and I noticed in the production room that there's all kinds of things flying in the production room, including the carpeting. And I said, is everything okay with Alice? And Chuck Hussey, God rest his soul, said, she's ripping up the carpet. She doesn't like it. Oh, okay. But anyway, so she had this grand idea because what Wizo played was oldies, rock oldies. Mm-hmm. And so she got this grand idea and she called a meeting with everybody. And she said, what I think we're going to do, we're going to change formats. We're going to play classic rock and classic country together. And I'm thinking, boy, this idea has. So what do I do? And I think I'm wanting to get fired anyway because it was horrible working for her. So she goes, any questions? And I said, yeah, I have one. I said, Alice, how many phone lines do we have going into the studio? And she said, 2. And I said, well, I got a real great way you can save money. I said, why don't you take one of them out? Mm-hmm. Because I don't think we're going to get many phone calls with this new...
So what would classic country have been considered then?
Well,
would it be like the Buck Owens?
Jim Ed Brown,
Okay. I mean,
the
like
Browns, the
bum,
bum, bum, bum. Real classic country, the hog leg country with
that's why I'm wondering.
Psychotic reaction, So no, I don't think it would have worked. And
So
what was funny and what was great about her, she didn't wait to fire me till it was Thanksgiving weekend. It was Thanksgiving Day. Mm-hmm. And, whole family's at the house, and all of a sudden the phone rings right in the middle of dinner. And she tells me, I think we're moving in a different direction, and I don't think we're going to need you anymore. And I said, all right, Alice. All right. I said, well, I just got fired. On Thanksgiving Day. Yes.
Here's a toast.
Yeah.
And then she told people, because I heard from several of the employees there, they said she told everyone there that said he just doesn't have a future in radio. He won't be working at another radio station.
Oh, okay.
So I reminded her, because I knew she was still in town when I got with Phil. I said, yeah, she said I'd never work in radio again.
Yes. Meanwhile, 35 years later.
She's finally right.
Yeah.
She got out of it before I did, though. She had to sell the station.
So you went from In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida to I've got a tiger by the tail. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of jolt that
Probably.
that the listener that
Yeah.
you were delivering to
Yeah.
listeners.
Yeah.
That is kind of weird.
My father once told me, he says, you just don't have the voice to be on radio. You listen to Howard. Listen to his voice.
Oh, really?
He's got such a deep voice. You need a deep voice. And I said, well, I'm at the time I was only 15 or 16. I said, yeah, give me time.
Give me time.
And then you realize how processed
Mike's big time.
his mic is.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Little things you find out.
Yep, big time.
Well, even Howard was told that
Yeah, he didn't have a good voice.
he didn't have a good voice. We all been told that, you know.
Well, I think he accurately portrayed himself in the movie.
Yeah, he did. That's
Yeah.
what made that movie so good.
everybody, WCCC in Hartford, Connecticut.
And then I love when everything falls on the. He's playing "Smoke on the Water" by Deep Purple, and everything. Oh, we've all been there.
It was such an accurate movie.
And then
man.
I love what the one guy told. He said, "Oh, it's college radio. Nobody heard it."
Yeah.
And he tells some chick, and she goes, "Oh yeah, I heard that." I remember I fell asleep one time. We had a feature called Track Down on it was WJRB in Nashville, and you played. We just played albums all the way through, played the entire album. So it was one of these nights when because back in those days I was partying pretty heavy, and I'd forgotten that because there were two of us that worked midnight shift. And I'd forgotten that it was my turn because I was I'd been up for days, no sleep. And so it hit me, oh crap, I'm working tonight. This is my fourth day up. I've been up for 4 days, nonstop, no.
Gosh.
So I go in and I'm going, well, thank God. Hopefully the album is really good. Mm-hmm. I look at the album. Willie Nelson sings Christofferson. Nothing against Willie. Nothing
Take the
against.
ribbon from
It was. I mean,
my hair.
I played the first side. About the fourth song in, I went out, and of course, I wake up and. So I don't think anybody, because it's overnight. So I'm thinking, well, hopefully nobody heard it. And what was funny, the next night, a secretary brought in some people that they were out partying and they came by the station. She took them on a little tour. And this guy comes up and he goes, man, he said, I don't know who was on last night in your time. He said, but I think the dude fell asleep. I said, really? No, that would have happened.
That's terrible.
Yes, WJRB, when Johnny was really blasted.
Well, in fact, one night, one guy, and it was another night that I came in and I'd been partying. And the jock that I would relieve, he about didn't let me in. He said, man, I can't let you in. He said, I can tell you're really. I said, dude, trust me, I can do it. And boy, he finally agreed. And when he got home, he called me up and he said, I got to hand it to you. He said, I thought you would sound like, he said, I was afraid to give you the board. He said, I can't tell you've been partying. Mm-hmm. I said, I'm that good.
Yes, that's right.
A lot of practice.
It's the best show you ever had.
Yes. He said, you sound great. I said, thanks, dude. I said, I tried to tell you. Wow. I was a functioning alcoholic, drug addict.
It's always been fun to crack the mic when somebody who isn't used to the environment, like somebody outside the station, would come in and be in the studio with you, and maybe it was a friend or a girl or whoever, and then you crack that mic for the first time and you do the break, and they're just in awe.
Yeah, like, how did you do that?
How did you just stop doing this and
do that?
Yeah. It's like, I remember this one time with one girl that she came in to get a set of tickets, and I gave her a tour of the station. She and I worked at another job together, and I'm like, hold on a minute, I got to do this real quick. So I did it and come back. She's like, how do you do that? I'm like,
It's just second nature.
It's just part of the golden talent.
That's right. When you're a professional, it is funny though. They have people's reactions.
Well, I would always get, when I did mornings for years and years, and one of the comments I consistently got was, "Man, how do you sound so bright and cheery and happy at 5:30 in the morning?"
Yeah,
and it was like, well, you fake it. I mean,
yeah.
Because, man, we all, you come dragging ass in there, feel horrible. Oh. And, of course, that was back before the days of now. You got cameras in there, and you kind of got to look somewhat presentable now. But, we would not shave for days, no shower, and a dirty T-shirt.
And we wonder why we never got paid well.
Well, hell, man, the salespeople and the GM, shoot, they didn't see you.
No.
No. Early in the morning. But, I would stay, I don't know, I usually would leave like 1:30, and they had, do your production and whatnot. But still, I I never did see anybody. Yeah. But yeah, you just fake it. You become, it's part of being a professional.
That's one thing I did like about the overnight shift, even though it sucked. Mm-hmm. I did like the overnight shift that you had the place to yourself.
I was lucky, Johnny. I never did the overnight shift. I did it a couple of times, filling in for people.
Yeah.
But no, I never got stuck on that shift full time.
Well, the one that the one that stuck me in the midnight shift forever was my father.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, thanks, Pa.
Want to make sure you cut your teeth.
Well, it's partly that, and partly Dad. I don't think Dad really. The only time Dad really seemed like he thought I was really good on the radio was whenever Phil and I got together. When I got on the Phil Valentine show, because he said, "Man, you sound good on that show," and he said, "Man, you guys are a real good team." And it was the only time I've ever heard him. Like when he would come visit. Like one time when I came to my apartment, he had set up this. He had his car door open. He was sitting in a lawn chair. And he had the radio up real loud, which I thought, boy, I bet my neighbors love this. But that was the only time that I really seemed to, I don't know.
Well, your dad was an on-air legend in his markets.
Yeah,
I know
we
talked about how the word legend kind of gets thrown around, but he indeed was that. Was he good on the air?
Yeah, he was. He was real folksy. Mm-hmm. And the man loved country music. In fact, he had the first full-time country radio station in Wichita, Kansas. And it ended up having 8 stations in the Midwest. That was when he was at his zenith.
Was really. KFDI, did one of them become that?
No, that was he started at KFDI when it was KFBI.
Oh, wow.
And then he started his own station and became their competition. In fact, he and Mike Oatman did not like one another.
Really?
Oh, they hated one another. With a passion. So no, Dad was very well known with the country music community. I remember when he married my stepmother, Sherry Bryce, who sang with Mel Tillis. She took him to a party and she said, "My gosh," she said, Merle Haggard was coming up to him saying he always wanted to meet him, and Ray Benson from Asleep at the Wheel had one of Dad's early records on Mercury. It was Max Sanders and his swing band. Wow, and he said, "Man, me and my band love this album." And Dad was like about,
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. So, yeah, he was...
Ray Benson, the guy that every time he saw me, always asked me for pot.
Yeah, he wanted some weed.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about me. Being in a room full of people, he'd ask me for pot. And
well, you kind of look like a guy that might smoke the weed.
I would tell him, it's like, out of everybody in this room, I'm probably the only one that doesn't have pot.
Why are selling it on the other hand?
Yeah, I can sell you some.
Why are you coming to me about it? Yeah, I don't know. I did have that. This was back in the early and mid '80s. So I did have that porn star mustache. And my hair was very dark back then.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, you may have had the look.
Yeah.
Did you have a lot? Did you have a lot of side hustles? Like, did you have that kind of awareness to have
To sell weed? No.
Sell weed,
No.
whatever. It could be production work, voiceover. anything
Yeah,
like that.
I did the voiceover stuff. Yeah, but that was really about it back then. I look back on some of my radio times in other markets, and at the time I thought I made lousy money. But in looking back, compared to today, I did pretty darn well.
Well, yeah, I did too.
I tell you, when I left, I came to here to go to work with MCA from Baton Rouge Radio. But I was really starting to gain some traction there. I was doing a lot of on-camera TV commercials for various companies and stuff. And I look back, I made less. I lost money when I came here, compared to what I was doing when you added everything up.
Well, in Nashville, I was told that Nashville is probably one of the worst places for anybody in radio to come because they say that the pay is not as good because everybody wants to be an artist. Everybody wants to get in the music business somehow. So they'll work for any amount of money they're thrown.
Yeah.
Passion industry.
There was a day, I think, when you could come if you were into country music and you wanted to be a country performer. I think there was a day when you could work for a radio station and come into contact with people in the record industry and stuff that perhaps may have, helped. I mean, there are a lot of, I don't know about a lot, but there were a good number of former radio personalities that did become artists. Jim Reeves.
John Conley.
Yep, John Conley, Jim Reeves, Billy Parker, who, KVOO legend, and there's that word again, legend, but he definitely was there in Tulsa. Tulsa radio, and he had some pretty good records back in the day.
They did. Billy C. Cole was another guy that,
Ernie Ashworth, is that the case now?
No.
See, I would love to know, like on one of these pages that we talked about, you worked in radio when. I may actually put this up and see how many people respond. I'm really curious as to what, especially in major markets, what people are making. Let's just put it out there, because I think Joe Breezy recently just got a gig. He was over at the Mix Building, Town Square.
Yeah.
And is it Town Square?
I don't know.
Anyway, he ended up going to Atlanta, major market.
Yeah.
And actually a girl that I knew in Vegas, she is now on the show with him at the station there. And I'm going, are major markets still paying worthwhile money these days? I mean, that was the aspiration back in the day.
You think, is he physically in Atlanta, really, as opposed to doing something remotely?
And it is he's still, I think has roots here, and Danielle's still here.
Yeah.
Right.
So, who knows? Maybe she's the breadwinner. Speculating, but
Well, remember I can remember back in the 80s being amazed. Was it Tom Jordan? The guy that they would fly from Dallas to Chicago back and forth?
Yeah.
He did mornings, I think, in Dallas.
Yeah,
and they paid to put him on a flight every day, flew him to Chicago to do afternoons.
Sounds exhausting.
That's correct.
I know.
Well,
but the man actually did that for years.
Put him on a private jet at least? Or
I don't know if he flew commercial.
I think he flew commercial.
I tend to think you're right. But yeah, he did that for years.
Yeah, he did.
As an African-American fella that did an urban show in the morning and then in the afternoon in two different markets. Flew every freaking day.
Is the compensation salary conversation still taboo, though, you think? Like nobody ever talked about how much they made.
No, they didn't.
No.
In fact, I remember a great story when I was going to work for Star 106. I did love songs, and Lynn Becker was another person that did the love song. She did it on weekdays, weeknights. I did it on the weekend. And she would always ask me, and it really bugged me. She wanted to know how much I was making. Mm-hmm. And I thought that's a personal question.
Yeah,
nothing against you, Lynn, but you were
it ain't none of your business.
You were wanting. So anyway, she asked me one time, so I lied. Mm-hmm. I told her I was making far more than I was.
Right.
I've never seen anybody. She lost it. She was putting carts up and cussing, and she went into my boss, my PD, Billy Shears, God rest his soul. But he comes into me, he said, "What did you tell Lynn?" And I told him, and he said, "Thanks a lot." And I said, "Well, I got tired of the question." So
I don't know. We were always taught in the Northeast to not discuss money, but at this point,
well, I know my first station of any large market was I was making $900 a month.
Oh, wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
you were making a lot.
Yeah, I was making a lot, $900 a month, and man, and
When was this?
I was a single guy, 1980,
Okay. Well, you know.
and I was living like a king, man.
Yeah.
20 years old.
Yeah.
I lived on beer, bologna sandwiches, and cigarettes.
Oh, sure.
Well,
I lived on that plus marijuana and whatever would thrown at me.
couldn't afford that, but
Well, it was cheap back then.
Yeah.
I made. There was a station where I made like $32,000 back in the '80s, and
That's still a good amount of money.
I know it. You
Yeah,
move
that's
that
not
up to
bad.
now, and it's more than guys or people
yeah.
or
That's what they're still paying.
yeah.
Well, I got to tell you this.
you're right.
But a rock station that's in a small town in Tennessee, after I'd lost my gig at Cumulus, they actually called me and said, we would like to have you on the afternoon. I said, well, I'd be interested. I said, what's the money? Well, it took a day. And they said, well, let me get back with the owner and see what we can. They came back to me, and I felt sorry for the PD because, number one, I knew that he's a young man, and I've known him for a while. And he said, I was really embarrassed to even bring this up to you, but he goes, they're offering you $14 an hour.
Oh, my gosh.
And I said, well, I guess we'll have to part company. And
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to do that.
You got to go?
Yeah, I've got.
You're actually going to make some money.
Well, I hope so. Yeah, I got a voiceover gig here in about 40 minutes.
Well-
so I need to depart.
Well, Jay,
I mean, you guys can. You don't need me. You can keep going if you want.
whatever.
What I mean, if you guys feel like you're in the middle of, like deep dark conversation, I can go ahead and depart. You gentlemen can continue.
and tell people
I'm
how
just,
much
I'm just
we-
notating the time.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Notating the time. You going to dock me?
I'm notating the time so I can make edits.
Okay. No, I thought that that part of that $350,000 salary
That's right.
that Johnny and
You knock about-
Johnny gets more than me, just as he should. Just so everybody knows. So thank goodness for Crabtree Benefits helping cover that 300.
Yes.
Gosh, almost $1 million now when you add everything up.
And when we
But,
change the name of the podcast, it'll really do even
That's
better.
right.
Yeah, that's true. No, really, guys, I need to split. Are we going to shut her down?
Yeah, let's shut it down.
Let's shut it down. So
right.
tell people where they can.
Well, currently, you can find, and I tell you what, when we do rebrand, circlingthedrain.net will forward to another website. But anyway, you can find the site currently. Oh, gosh, I don't know what the hell I'm saying. You can find the podcast currently on Facebook, of course, and that is where most of our folks do seem to find us. Over 22,000 followers currently.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much as we head to we're at 51 here now. But also, of course, you can go to our YouTube channel as well as X and find the podcast there as well as all of the typical audio platforms, Apple Podcasts, etc.
Well, listen, we've got to let Jay go because he's got to make some money.
Got to make some moolah.
Join us next time on whatever the hell this is going to be called. But right now, it's Circling the Drain, and thank you for joining us.